6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone. Superfan Dan from California, your host tonight for the match preview for this Sunday's match against West Ham at London Stadium. Good to see all of you tonight. Gary will be on to join me here shortly. Looking forward to seeing everybody in the comments, and maybe we'll start off with a little discussion about the Carabao Cup match on Wednesday. Welcome to Through Black and White Eyes preview of the West Ham versus Newcastle match. Playing kickoff is at 2 p.m. England time, and that's 6 o'clock in the morning our time. So well done. Please like, share, subscribe, and hype to promote the channel. You can hype after we've gone after we've posted on YouTube. It's all free and it really helps. You can also join our channel for 99 cents or donate using the super chat. All of our profits go to charity, as we've discussed many times. We've raised over £11,000 since the start of this channel. I'll keep that running for just a minute. Good evening, Leslie. Good evening, Gary. Good evening, Robbie Stones. Good evening. Who else? Is it just Gary and Leslie and I? All right. And Robbie. All right. Good to see all of you. My comments back again. There we go. Please adhere to standard community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and of course, enjoy the show. So let's talk about real quick the match on Wednesday. Goodness, great match. Surprises in the starting 11. To see, well, we kind of figured he was going to be making a great deal of changes. Emil Kraft comes in, Cher comes in, Ramsdale starts in goal. He started Barnes on the left, Elanga on the right, and then the midfield trio of Ramsey, Willock, and Tonali. I don't know if anybody else has any comments about Willock's performance, but I will say I was genuinely surprised. I thought he had a really good match, providing the assist for Voltemati's second, the second goal for Voltemati's goal. I thought he did a really great job. Tonali held it all together in the midfield, as evidenced by his performer of the match, man of the match, player of the match award at the end. I thought Kraft put in a great shift. It was, of course, fantastic to see Fabian come back. There's Gary. Hold on. Add him. Hey guys.
Hi. Sorry, mate. I forgot it was Halloween.
No, well, if everybody wants to be in the mood, I'll just put the dancing skeleton in the corner, and you can leave him there, or you can have a trick or treat above on you as well. I got all kinds of tips and tricks today. Guys, I was just talking to myself about the match on Wednesday.
Yeah.
When we did the preview, we kind of figured that Howe would ring the changes and bring in some folks that needed some minutes. It was great to see Ramsdale in goal. I thought he had a fantastic game. I thought Kraft did a great job. Cher obviously picks himself with Botman's cut on his head, but typical Fabian performance, getting a header and putting us up in front. My wife commented, she said, "Look at the gray hair." I was like, I know.
Me.
No. Cher's gray hair when he scored. What I was just saying was, I thought Willock was great. I thought he surprised. He had a really great performance. especially with the assist for
Yeah.
Voltemade's goal. But I mean, you know, that was a so a lot of Spurs fans complaining. We had a couple of Spurs fans in attendance with us watching the match with us. A couple of Spurs fans who complained about Chow's shirt tug on the Spurs defender, but then, you know, following the ball out and taking it wide and then getting, or it was Willock who tugged. Sorry, Willock who tugged on the defender, then passed the ball out to Chow. Chow on the front foot, then passing it forward to Willock, who then got the cheeky little chip over to get to Voltemade. So, but I mean, we've been critical of Willock in the last few months, and I thought he came on and did a great job. What did you think?
Yeah. I thought he had a good game. I'm still not convinced on him.
Well, he's not first choice anymore, obviously.
No, he's got a long way to go just because he's had like a decent game. I know he hasn't had many opportunities this season, but he needs to do it more often. And I was shocked he started because I expected Miley or somebody like that to start. But Eddie Howe doesn't start you if he doesn't think you're up to match fitness speed, so he clearly thought he was. And I thought Joe Willock didn't. The one thing I will say is I don't think he showed anything from the game that told me he wasn't up to scratch fitness-wise, because I thought he ran around all over the shop. Obviously, he was going to tire. He put a lovely cross in for the second goal. His header was absolutely shite. But, like, I still don't know what he's doing now. I was screaming for him to, like, head it to Voltemade, I think it was, but he sort of went for a shot and it just went absolutely wrong. But he made up for it with the cross. But no, he had a good game. The other ones, I was very impressed with Ramsdale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's catching, kicking, and that save. I'm still trying to work out, does Pope save that? I don't know. It's on Pope's dodgy side. So
it was on Pope's dodgy side, and yeah, like you said, if Pope had gotten to it, he would have put it around the post. How Ramsdale got the lift on it to go over the crossbar was fantastic.
Oh, it was a brilliant save, like an absolutely top quality save. It wasn't just that; he's careful. His catching was really good.
Yep.
He commanded his area. He's kicked. You know what it is? You just know when he gets the ball, he's going to kick. He's kicking at times. Is just. Do you know what? I love Nick Pope. I think he's been a great goalkeeper forward, but I just. Look, Pope's had a good season. I'm not saying he hasn't, but I'd put Ramsdale in me. Honestly, I wouldn't. It's purely for his kicking. Honestly, it's.
So yeah, I have a friend of mine who's a keeper, and he says the same thing. But it was before the Benfica match. He said, you know, I think it's time for Ramsdale to come in, and I agreed with him. You know, obviously, the Benfica stout to Barnes kind of bought Pope some more time, I think.
Yeah,
but I mean that was a one-off. You know, is it something that he could repeat again? I doubt it. I think if he was given another 10 tries, he probably couldn't do that again. But yeah, Ramsdale's performance in the cup match for me deserves a run in the league. I mean, he's a great goalkeeper. We've seen that, and we wouldn't have brought him in on loan. I just if we brought him in on loan for the season and we're only going to play him in the cup matches, I'm just, you know, come on.
Look, I was critical of the signing, but I'm just somebody who's fell into this media crap, and I've seen it this season. The media tell you that this player isn't very good and this player's world class, and you've just got to look at Voltemade and Isak right now, because the media are telling you he's world class and the media are telling you he's not good enough, but it's completely the opposite of what. And I think you're starting to see it with mid-table teams and teams just above. They're buying quality players.
Yeah.
And the so-called six are struggling at times to, I mean, they probably more example than Liverpool at the minute, who are struggling to play anywhere near against these mid-table teams, because these mid-table teams have got brilliant scouting networks. And but I mean, look,
and the money.
They've got that's the thing, because the Six are buying their players, they're giving them money for PSR, so they're going out and spending a fortune. And I've seen it a lot this season, where I've seen numerous teams, Chelsea, for example, who've spent an absolute fortune and don't look like they've paid for the players. That Chelsea shouldn't be losing to the Mackhams at home after spending over £1 billion. I'm sorry, it's like it shouldn't be happening. And but anyway, but no, Ramsdale, top game. Kraft reminds me, if anybody knows, he reminds me of Aaron Hughes.
Yeah.
He's not, my kids have no idea who Aaron Hughes is. A lot of Newcastle fans in their 20s will have no idea who Aaron Hughes is. But Aaron Hughes was a very decent player who come in and did his job, and that's what Kraft does. Doesn't matter how long he's out, he'll come in and do his job.
Northern Ireland international, former Northern Ireland captain for world qualifying, could play anywhere across the back four. He did several long stints as a left back when we had nobody to play over there. There were stretches where we didn't have Santon, we didn't have I think he was gone before Santon. Olivier Bernard, we didn't have Domi, and we had to play Aaron Hughes out there. Did a great job out there. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And we've only played Kraft once on the left, and it was a sub, if I remember right. I don't think he started out there. I think he was brought on to play that role just for the last 20 minutes or something like that. But every time he's played in the center on the right side as a right-sided center back, he's done well. He's done well, obviously, as a right back. A Swedish international at right back. So no, I agree. Emil Kraft, and just a nice guy, just a terrifically nice guy. I met him when we were there in May earlier this year. I was in the Strawberry, and I saw him coming across the street from the team shop with his 2 kids in tow, and I just ran over in the car park there across the street and asked if I could get a picture with him, and he was just terrific.
It's no coincidence to me. I mean, when Kraft first signed his first year, I thought he was absolutely shy. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was terrible. He was one of the worst players I'd ever seen. And then Eddie Howe got a hold of him.
Yep.
And if you'd have told me 4 years later Kraft would still be here and you would think he was a decent footballer, I wouldn't have believed you, because I did. I thought he was absolutely terrible. But he hasn't played all season, but he comes in and looks like he's played all season. He's just one of those. He slots in. It's like Jacob Murphy. You just know Jacob Murphy will come in and he'll do an assist or a goal. And
how many times have we had to go at Jacob Murphy? Up until last season, when he had his purple patch and was doing world-class things. I think none of us would have said, he's a great footballer. He's a model pro.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, look, the rest of the game, I thought Newcastle were dominant the first 20 minutes. Tottenham were absolutely terrible. I don't know what they're moaning at the goal for, because I'm sorry, like, Jet Spence should have started tying his laces in his frigging position on the pitch instead of trying to be clever. And look, I'm sorry, like, your laces are undone, go and stand in your position, and then you're ready to go, just in case a free kick's taken. So it didn't watch with me that. If I saw Kieran Trippier doing that, I wouldn't have said, it's unfair that. I would have said, they counted it, he had 50 seconds to tie his lace. Should we wait a minute and a half, 2 minutes for you to do it? No.
Right.
Look,
and what would you do if four of your teammates did the same thing? What, the referee's just supposed to wait until everybody's got their laces tied? No, thank you.
No. And you're not talking about an average footballer here. I actually rate Jet Spence. I thought he was Tottenham's best player on Wednesday. I think he's a great player. And I thought it was just poor. I thought Tottenham started terrible. Whether that was because we were good, I don't know. But they grew into the game a bit, but I never felt under any major threat. We War was a threat. Tonali was just a man possessed. He was ridiculous all game.
I think I think after being out for 2 games, was it?
Some
I
of the
think
World Cup.
Tonali, I think he wanted to prove that he was fit and ready to go. Yeah, apparently he was just he was unwell. Apparently he was very sick. But
Players benefit from a break. There's no point in playing them every game and run them in the ground. They'll not perform their best, and Tonali's just proven. Harvey Barnes did okay. Got into some good positions. Should have done better, but he gets into those positions. Voldemort's just class. Even when he's quiet, he's a danger. My issue is still, I'm just not seeing it from the right winger at the minute, and I want him to. I really want him to get better, but I'm just not seeing it. I didn't see it again on Wednesday. I thought he kept a hold of the ball a few times, way too much, and he lost them. And they're on the attack. I expect more from a £55 million player, to be honest. And Barnes gets into those positions, but apart from a weak shot with his right foot, look, he's full of pace. I'm not denying that, but I'm just not seeing it. Whether that's a confidence thing or not, I'm just not seeing it. And I saw Forest fans saying that their attacking power has completely broken down since Elanga left the football club. So, but I'm not seeing it. So I'm still hoping I see it. I'm just not. Look, for me, Murphy starts every game until he gets his act. I'm just not saying. Look, I think that people think he had a decent game. I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. Baz doesn't see it with Asula, and I'm just not seeing it with him.
And
whereas I see something.
Elanga.
It's he's my player. I want him to come good, but
if you were to compare the two, Jacob Murphy and Elanga, there's 42, 43 million pounds in cost difference. Of course, there's also 7 years of inflation in between. But and what, 8 years in age, because I think Elanga is still only 23 and Murphy's 31. But of course, Murphy has also had longer with Eddie Howe. So I think Elanga will come good. I think there's still a couple of eyebrows raised about the fee that he cost, but quite frankly, 50 million is pretty much the going rate for any footballer of any rate, and especially a Swedish international. An international type player, is going to cost you 50 million. And at the same time, you sit there and smile because we got Malik Chow for 34. So, I think Elanga will come good. I just think, with Jacob Murphy in the form that he's in, when he gets to be that form, you got to keep him in the side until he either tires or he has a bad game.
Now, I mean, I heard it on. I mean, it's probably not a big shock, but I heard that Eddie Howe is wanting a winger, whether it's January or the summer. He wants a winger. I did hear left, right, but I was shocked at that, but I wouldn't be. So that tells me Eddie's not overly convinced with his wing play at the minute, and I think when you've got somebody like Voldemort up front, the wingers are very important.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
If the winger, because he brings players into a game. So like for example, look, imagine Voldemort playing with Prime Salah.
Yeah,
the link up play between them two would be absolutely incredible. And this is. I've seen it in bits with Jacob Murphy. I just don't think Jacob Murphy's got the pace anymore.
Right.
Whereas he's got it. Look, the difference between Elanga and Murphy right now is end product. Right. I think Elanga's now 12 games in or something, and he's got 0-0 or something like that. He hasn't got anything. Now, apart from away to Union SG, where still to this day, he got man of the match, and I don't know why he got man of the match, because I thought Chow, Voldemort, and Tonali were better than him. But he got man of the match because he won a penalty. He did have a good game. I give him an 8 that day. But I thought there was 3 players better than him. And that's apparently his best game for. So, but look, I want him to come good. I'm not giving up on him. But I want to see more from him. I mean, even the commentator said when he got took off on Wednesday, not many people know this, the commentator went, it hasn't been his night, but it will. That's what the commentator said. So that when I heard the commentator say that, I'm thinking, oh, well, it's not just me moaning, sitting in my head thinking that.
It's not.
Because the commentator saying. So, but no, it was a dominant Newcastle performance for me. I thought Tottenham had a few moments, but that was it. I was laughing my head off when they said Spurs had made a lot of changes and they had a few injuries, and I thought, well, yeah, so did Newcastle, like, but never mind.
We made 8.
Yeah, I agree. Tottenham has, but we made 8, and we've still got Visser, Tino, and Lewis Hall out. So it's like, yeah.
Yep.
But it was a comfortable victory for me against a team who I thought, I've watched them a lot this season. I thought at home they've been terrible. Away from home they've been very good. But I thought they were poor.
They're average.
I think our weak link is Dan Burn at left back, but Dan Burn had a great game.
Yep.
And his right wingers did nothing.
Yep.
Now Fulham caused Burn horrendous problems.
Yep.
Whereas they didn't. So more fool Tottenham because they've got decent right wingers. Kudus and Johnson. Brendan Johnson's a good player, but he did nothing. Absolutely nothing. But dominant from Newcastle. No complaints. Probably should have been more.
I think I agree. I think I still was confident of a 2-1 outcome. I didn't expect to keep a clean sheet, but Ramsdale was in inspired form. I think every time Dan Burn puts on the armband, I think his tenacity goes up just that 25-30% more. I think he wants to show everybody in the stadium, he's from Blythe and he's up for it. Is he our best left back? Absolutely not. And it's been 2 years now since he played left back regularly, and that was only quite frankly, out of necessity, because we didn't have a left back other than Matt Targett, and he was not unreliable in terms of fitness for us. So no, I agree. I think once we get Lewis Hall back, which I think there's rumors that he may be 50-50 for the bench on Sunday. I think once we get Lewis Hall back in harness, if he's back to full fitness, I think we've got left back sewn up there. I think the issue for me there is that Dan Burn then drops to the bench, because I don't think you can't take out Botman or Chow when they're fully fit and playing together. And quite frankly, that's what we've wanted. That's what when we were after Chow and didn't get him the first time, we were all thinking we needed a right-sided center back to come in, because Cher's not getting any younger. And in that Botman Chow pairing, we were thinking, here's our center back pairing for the next 6-7 seasons if we play our cards right. And so far that's exactly the form that they've displayed.
Yeah, I mean, look, Malik Chow is the best defender at that football club. Some people would probably say Sven Botman, right? But in my opinion, it's Malik Chow.
Botman has lost something since he got injured. I agree.
I think Botman's had a really good season. I think he's had a strong season, but the mistakes have come from him.
Yeah.
And it Brighton, that stands out to me, Brighton. But I get Botman because he's had a bad injury and he's come back in. He's done well this season, and he was going to have an off day, this, certainly that. And he did it Brighton for me. But Malik Chow now has become undroppable, and the journalists are seeing it. And I think Eddie Howe knows it now. I think it's, look, one of you three are playing with Malik Chow. He's number one. And I think they all know that. And if we play, look, I guarantee 99% of Newcastle fans now will sit there and go, look, 5, 6 guaranteed starters away to Sunderland, away to PSG. Malik Chow's in everybody's team. There's no doubt about it. And but I thought Shaw had a great game. I mean, look, pound for pound, one of the best signings we've ever made. Look, Dan Burns a legend here. That goal will be shown
his
in
statue
50
will
years'
come.
time. Yeah,
his statue will come. Yep, and it'll be 10 feet tall.
But look, I'm realistic. For me, I think Dan Burns I think he signed an extension, so he's got 1 year after this.
Yep.
This is Dan Burns' last season of playing regular.
Yeah.
Because next season, he should be the Emil Kraft. He should be the backup, or maybe the backup to the backup, right? And that's nothing against him.
No,
it's just he's 33 now. I'm watching this season one of the best players ever in the Premier League, and the reason he's struggling is because age is kicking in, and that's Mo Salah, right? Yep. And it gets you. And Dan Burns 33 now; he's going to be 34 next season, and after that, will he go elsewhere or will he stay as a coaching role? I have no idea, none at all. But you've got to move on. And look, he'll still play most of the games this season, but it's just what it is. Same with Trippier. Trippier's a legend at this football club, best right back I've ever seen. But I'm not saying the Kieran Trippier I saw 3 years ago when I first signed him, because he's older. And age kicks in, and that's another. I mean, we've got Tino, so we don't need to upgrade that position. But it's one of the, for me, out of the three of them, Shaw, Burn, and Trippier, I don't know what it is, but Shaw seems to look the one who doesn't lose it. I can't explain it out of the three. Whereas I think the other two seem to suffer from a pace issue or a concentration issue at the minute. Trippier's passing's been off for me a bit this season. I've noticed he's made some straight, simple passes at times. But Shaw just seems to get better and stronger all the time, and it's friggin' at some point I'm expecting him to drop completely. But it's just like
all of a sudden his leg falls off or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, there was only one person winning that header. I didn't care if you put Jet Spence in there. I mean, they were getting on about Jet Spence would defend it. Shaw's he's not beating Shaw. Shaw sticks his head into anything, and that was pure determination why he won that header. But
quite frankly, the only reason why he was not in the starting 11, why he hasn't been in the starting 11 for the last month or 6 weeks, has been because he got a concussion, and he's had a lot of concussions. And again,
he's had a few.
You get to be 33. You get to be 33 years old and suffering concussions. Once every 3 months or something like that. It takes longer to bounce back from those. And then when Malik came in, when Chow came in, he's been an inspired form. So it's hard to drop a player who's become undroppable because you want to bring in the ever dependable. It's again, like you said, age is going to catch up, and that when you put in a Dan Burn from the bench, if you brought on a Fabian Schär from the bench, you're going to get a shift out of them for the 15, 20, 25 minutes that you bring them on for. But we've got such great international and emerging talent that's coming out of our youth. And we've purchased well. I mean, Lewis Hall, Tino Livramento. I know that our previous director of football said that we overspent on the two of them. I think their form has shown not only are they possible England internationals for the next decade, but they are going to prove to be fantastic servants to our club for the next decade as well.
I mean, you could easily say the next 5 years could easily be Tino, Botman, Chow, and Hull. It
And
could
Hull,
easily
yep.
be that for the next 4 years. I wouldn't have an issue with that.
And with the news that we've gotten over the last week or so, we could have Tonali sitting in front of them for the next 5 years.
I mean, Tonali, do you know what it is? Bruno's one of the best midfielders I've ever seen in my life. It's crazy how this has happened. Bruno's one of the best midfielders I've ever seen. And Tonali's better than him. And that's not me having to go with Bruno, because Bruno's one of the best I've seen. But that shows you how good Tonali is. It's ridiculous how good he is. Look, I've seen some ridiculous things coming out of Italy. Juventus could tempt Newcastle with a £45 million bid. And I'm thinking, is this like a wind-up? 45 million pound. I've actually seen that number get mentioned, and they might add a player in there. And I'm thinking, you might add a player in there. You'd have to add another 3 players in there to get it anywhere. And one of them would have to be the left winger. Honestly, but it's.
Look, and for me, I loved when we signed him because he had the longish hair at the time that we signed him and everything. There were lots of the Italian press was calling him, comparing him to Pirlo and such, and then saying, his position at Milan was Pirlo-esque and everything. But then he comes and says, no, Gattuso's my hero. He's the one I've modeled my game after, and quite frankly, he's kind of a combination of the two of them. His long range passes are fantastic. His tenacity is fantastic, and more than anything, and this is the thing that just makes me giggle every time I watch him, he makes it look effortless.
I mean, I can't remember. Was it the second half? It was the second half. Tottenham broke. I don't know where our defenders were. I think they were for a corner. And Tonali literally sprinted back and played it back to the goalkeeper. And that's when it was like, this is what you need in your team, right? Because if you don't have that, they're on the attack and they can score a goal. Then they put his heat map up of where he went. And I'm not kidding, he literally covered every blade of grass on that pitch on Wednesday. And but Eddie Howe never takes him off because he could run all night. And honestly, look, I'm hoping it's Jacob Ramsey, because I thought Ramsey had a good game and all. I thought second half, Ramsey's a better tackler than I thought he was. Gets stuck in really well. I'm hoping it's Ramsey, but if you've got Tonali and Bruno and you put, I don't know, like a attacking gifted midfielder who can create something out of nothing next to them two, that midfield would be absolutely breathtaking to watch.
There's talk that Paqueta wants to leave West Ham in January, and we know who his best friend is.
Yeah, well, I would have said yes a year ago, but I'm going off him. Okay. And he's 28 now, and look, when you're bottom of the league, your best players stand out for me when you need the rough and tumble. And right now, there's only one player for West Ham right now. And I've watched West Ham a lot this season. I know we'll get on about West Ham in a minute, but there's one player. The rest have been dog shit.
And we couldn't take 20 million when he was available and take him.
But I didn't even mention his name, and you knew how I was on about because it's that.
Absolutely.
And I think Bowen scored 3 goals this season, 4 goals. And he literally, even West Ham fans are saying now, Jared, you need to leave. You're 28, go off to a Champions League club and have a good 4 years of your career. You deserve it. Even West Ham fans are telling him to go. Because he deserves better. And look, I've got nothing against West Ham Football Club. I think the fans they remind me of my Newcastle under Mike Ashley. I think the fans are just not with the owners. The owners are shit. The ground is terrible, but they fill it all the time. They're a passionate bunch, but they're just watching a bunch of players who didn't give a shit. And
Agreed.
he's the only one. Even Paqueta
Yeah.
wants to get in January. Oh, nice, isn't it? Like thanks,
Yeah.
you know.
Thanks a lot. Let's make a stand here. And no, he wants out.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
You want to leave, that's fine, but you don't need to broadcast it to the world that you want to leave. Just get on with your job. I'm sick of players saying they want to leave clubs. Right? Fine. I'm after the Isak situation, I've realised now to grow as a football club, you sell these knackers, and as long as you've got a scout network, you can replace them with 2 or 3 extra players, right?
Yep.
And I've started to realise that, but like, just don't broadcast it halfway through a season that you want to bugger off. I mean, get your head down and get on with your job.
Yep.
Play game, play well on the pitch, and somebody might buy you.
Yep.
And
someone will come in for you. But yeah, right.
And,
all right. Yeah, go ahead.
No, but that was it. It was just a rant about West Ham.
All right,
I'm not even a West Ham fan. I'm ranting. They must be sick as I must be.
Well, it's meant to be our West Ham preview show, and we've yet to talk about them, so we will in just a second. I need to, first of all, I have to remind everybody of one of our sponsors, Dire Crow, Joe Spinney down there in Charlotte, North Carolina, making fantastic Newcastle merchandise and other things. But go and have a look at their website there. Of course, use code BAZ20 for 20% off. Another sponsor, the multi-award-winning Geordieland Experience. If you're planning a trip to the Northeast and you don't know what to do, other than obviously making a pilgrimage to the Cathedral on the Hill, if you're looking for other things to do, other insights as to what's available in Geordieland, hit up the Geordieland Experience, set up a tour with Sparky Buddy, and have yourself a good old time, because they are just cracking on. It's fantastic. Also, reminder that you can become a member of our channel for as little as 99p a month. You can also donate using the super chat. And again, we have raised over £11,000 since we started this channel that we've given away to charity. So, well done, us. And we've got some more things planned after Christmas. We've got 2 more big fundraising events in the new year. More stay tuned for those details when we get them. And oh my goodness, guys, I am so sorry. I have not paid attention to the comments in quite a bit. I'm sorry. I need to jump in here real quick. Spurs had time to put somebody else in there. Tonali is quality. Yep. Leslie saying that the fee represented overall fees in the summer. That is true. Evening Kevin from Florida. There's Blade. Malik Chow. Let's see. Spray passes. I'm sorry, folks. I'm just trying to keep up here. We got into that discussion, and I had clicked off the comments box, and it's me. I apologize. Okay, let's get on with West Ham. We're going down to West Ham. It'll be for us. You guys, your clocks went back last Sunday, so we have a 7-hour time difference between us here on the west coast in California and you. And Sunday morning at 2 a.m. we set our clocks back, so we're 8 hours behind you again, and that means a 6 a.m. kickoff for us, 2 p.m. kickoff in London. Let's get some stats here real quick. These are some injuries that West Ham is looking at. Mavropanos, Earthy, Fulkrug are all injured. We obviously have Harrison Ashby, Livramento. Hall again is 50-50, could be on the bench. Vissa, I think it was reported in the press conference this morning that Vissa, this one is gonna come too early for him, but he could possibly be ready for the next weekend after that. Head-to-head records.
I think there's something fishy about that one, though.
I don't think we're going to see Vissa until after the next international break. I think we're going to wrap him in cotton wool and make sure that he's 100% fit before they decide to do anything. I think watching him walk around the treatment room with the ace bandage wrapped around that knee seemed troublesome to me.
Well, I think that was planned.
To show that he's still in the treatment room.
Look, Will Asula has always done videos, but look, Eddie Howe's not stupid, right? Eddie Howe will say if he doesn't want something to come out, and he will tell Will Asula to stop doing videos in the training room for this reason. And Will Asula's not the type of person who will say, "No, I'm doing what I want."
Right.
I find it a bit strange that he's done a lot of videos this week, and Viss has been in a lot of.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you see him with a look. I could be telling absolute bollocks, but I think the AFCON's coming up in about 7 weeks' time, and I think the club don't want him to go. Plain and simple. And
so,
I wouldn't be shocked if you don't see much of this till next year, mate. I would not be shocked. That's just my opinion.
Show Congo that he's unavailable.
Yeah, I think the fact that Asula's coming on and doing well. And Voldemort has had such a good start. I think that's eased the pressure on Vissa, and it's eased Eddie Howe's mind, because I fully expected Voldemort to be on the bench on Wednesday. And when Eddie Howe started him, that told me instantly, right, you're convinced now he's the man.
Yep.
Right? Because Eddie Howe likes to tinker, but he doesn't tinker. What I've always said this about Eddie Howe, right? I think his rotation at times is a bit off. By what I mean is, I think he'll give some players brilliant breaks, but he'll run some into the ground, right?
Yeah.
Bruno, he's run into the ground. Yeah. Tenor, he's done it with. Now he's doing it with Voldemort. He's like Voldemort starting every game, and it's because now he trusts him, and I think that's gonna thingy Vissa back a bit. But do I think Vissa could start them on Sunday? Sorry, no. But I don't think he's as far away as the media are making it out. But I still wouldn't expect to see him, because I don't think they want him to go.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a bit of
and he was obviously their best player in the qualifying rounds for the World Cup qualifiers and such. So obviously Congo would like to have him back, but at the same time he got injured on their dime, on their watch. I think we're leery of making him available again, because we don't want him to get injured again. So and obviously we're paying his wages, and we paid a pretty penny for him. I mean, he was just as expensive as Alanga. So we haven't seen him yet.
I'm having a go at Langa, but right now we've seen nothing from him, and I know he couldn't help it. He got injured. I get that, right? But I still think that injury could have been stopped. This is what pisses me off about the whole thing, because it's not, and I don't really blame Newcastle here. I blame he plays for Congo, doesn't he? Yeah. I blame Congo, and I blame Wissa. For this problem. Why Wissa didn't? I'll tell you what. Isak did it. Isak didn't play much for Sweden, because he knew he wasn't fit enough. Wissa went in, started straight away, played like about 80-odd minutes in the first game, and then 3 days later played 70-odd minutes in the second game. That's when he broke down, but he refused to play for Brentford. So I blame him and all. And the whole thing for me, I know he wants to go away for international duty and all that. I get that, but I'm sorry, like, we've paid £50 million for you. We've seen bugger all. Absolutely nothing. So, no, I think we come first on this one.
I think so. I agree. All right, let's look at that head-to-head record again. If you look at our last 5 matches, 3 wins for Newcastle, 1 draw between them, and only 1 win for West Ham. And that 1 win for West Ham was
against Forest.
No. I'm looking at the 2 of us, West Ham versus Newcastle.
Oh, the head-to-head.
If you look
Sorry,
at
I
that,
thought you meant
if
the
you look
last
at the
five, yeah.
head-to-head,
I can't
you
even
know,
see that screen there.
is it that small?
I'm on my phone, so I'm like, I didn't really say much. It's a head-to-head between us.
We lost to West Ham 2-0 back in
Yeah, at
November
home.
of last
Yeah,
year.
we were
Yep, at
terrible.
home. Yep. But
Hmm.
we then in the reverse in March. How did that work?
Before
November
the cup
24,
final.
and then well, no, I'm looking at right. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was the
November of 24.
game before the cup final. 1-0 Bruno, second half.
Yep.
And I remember we stuffed them about 2 years ago. I think it was about 5-1 or 5-0, wasn't it? That was when Isak scored that goal, and he put his hands
scored
on his
over
hips.
Fabianski. Yep.
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
great game. And then the 2-0 one was when Callum Wilson scored and Isak scored, if I remember right.
Yeah. As ridiculous as this sounds, I personally think it's probably a better thing to play West Ham away than it is at home at the minute. Because I know that sounds nuts, right? But look, if I'm Eddie Howe, I'm telling our team, our players, you get a goal in the first 10 minutes, that'll be it. They'll drop. Because I've seen it all season.
Heads will go down and they'll lose it. Yep.
They are one of the worst teams I have seen at defending set pieces this season. They are absolutely shocking.
Yep.
And I've seen it every game they've played. Now, if we can pinpoint a cross onto Voldemort in the back of the net, it isn't. And all we have to do, I mean, look, this is no disrespect, but their main striker right now was a guy that we got rid of, that we watched a year ago and said was finished.
Yep.
And that's their main striker.
Yep.
The other striker is another guy who can't stay fit, who's behind Voldemort for Germany.
Yep.
Right now, they're an absolute mess. And look, I don't even have they won a home game this season. I don't think they've won a home game.
I'd have to look.
Yeah, I don't think they've won one.
There's their form.
I think they won at Forest, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now, it's typical Newcastle rock up, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Sorry.
Newcastle rock up. You know what happens? Get your first home win, but if you score like I said, you score in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they will absolutely fold. They've done it all season. They haven't got the players, they haven't got the bottle to get out of it. And West Ham fans will tell you that. Because the crowd are just, they've had enough, they're fed up. Yeah. And it's jumping from manager to manager. You've got a manager who has just been sacked from his job, who I do rate, who's playing a right back at left back and a left back at right back. It's an absolute mess. It doesn't make any sense why Wan-Bissaka's playing at left back. That doesn't make any sense, but this is what's happening. Taribo's been a joke, and I thought he was a good player. Kilman, he's been shocking. 40-odd million pound from Wolves. He's been atrocious. The new signing in midfield, I can't remember his name, started decent, but he's dropped off big time. He's been poor. And Summerfield's been disappointing. It's apart from Bowen. There's absolutely nothing there. And West Ham fans will tell you.
And Paqueta, of course, is in there, but not showing any form whatsoever. But he'll get picked by Brazil, no question.
I have no doubt in my mind, right? If Chelsea, Spurs, Villa were going to West Ham on Sunday, they would win 2 or 3 now. Right? That's what I truly believe right now. Now, I think that's what Newcastle should be looking to do.
Right.
We've got players full of confidence. We've got some top players. We've got some players performing really well at the minute. We should be going there comfortably beating these.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care if they're at home. That ground is also not helping West Ham at all.
No.
You can go and ask them. West Ham fans.
Yeah, it's soulless.
There's nothing there. It's the most soulless ground in the country, and it's not because of West Ham fans, because Upton Park was great. right?
Yep.
It's not West Ham fans. It's the ground. It's too far away. It's this. It's that, and you've just got to get stuck in straight away. And I think how will tell them. I wouldn't be shocked to see Newcastle score in the first 10 minutes, and and that'll be it. Really, they'll fold. Right. But anyway. That's me about West Ham.
I'm trying to find. West Ham have made their worst start to a Premier League season after 9 matches. They only have 4 points. They've never previously suffered as many as 8 defeats in their opening 10 games of a league season. I mean, as you say, they are in abysmal form. They've conceded the most goals in the Premier League this season, 20, and they have faced the second most shots, 133, and second worst expected goals against total at 15.2%.
Go and watch them. It's like watching Newcastle when we were getting relegated. Watch them. They're atrocious.
It's McLaren ball. I mean, it's that bad.
It's terrible. They've got players who aren't up for the fight. That's what makes it worse. They're not up for it. And what hasn't helped is the top 3 that have come up. I don't want to swear here, but the top 3 have come up. There's no better chance for the top 3 at staying up.
Yep.
The 3 of them, and what I've seen for the 3 of them is that 3 of them are going to do their damnedest to stay in the league this season. They are going to fight, and fight. Whereas I don't think Wolves have got it, and I don't think West Ham have got it. And for the first time, I wouldn't be shocked if all them stay up and 3 go down. And my pick was Brentford to go down. My God, what an absolute idiot, because they look really good. And so
many people were absolutely convinced that with Frank going to Spurs, that the Keith Andrews was going to fail miserably. And he's got them playing strength to strength. Even after losing a whole bunch of great players.
They lost Norgard, they lost Mbuemo, they lost Vissa, and I thought, they're gone this season. And Brentford look as good as they've looked for years. It's just honestly, but it's one of those, isn't it? It's like there's a big look. I watched West Ham fans might completely disagree with this, right? But a few years ago, one of the best things that happened was Newcastle got relegated because they got rid of shite like Owen and Viduka and stuff like that, right? They buggered off out the door, and that was the day we lost 6-0 in the pre-season, and Kevin Nolan and Joey Barton got everybody in the changing room and said, if you don't want to be here, fuck off.
There's the door.
And then they won the league that season, got back up, and I know we went down again, but that was because of Ashley and Block. But maybe West Ham need it so they can completely get rid of the shit out of that football club and start again, because it's a mess. And absolute mess. But watch Newcastle bollocks it up on Sunday.
Well, as Benny Boy just said, watch, we'll be the team that goes down there and hands them,
makes them look good. Makes them look solid as a rock at the back. And look, you know what it is? If West Ham win on Sunday and we don't score, they look solid as a rock, I will say that's a one-off. It's just because Newcastle turned up, and West Ham will get B3 now a week after. And they look atrocious at the back. But we've got to win this game, man. Honestly, if we want to finish in the Champions League, we've got to win this game. Simple as that.
Congratulations to Blade. He's been a member for 45 months.
Bloody hell. Long time, Blade.
Well done, Blade. No, so my question to you, I guess, I could go and look at the stats and look at all the right now, everything points to a Newcastle victory. My question to you is, with 8 changes made in the cup game on Wednesday, would you expect kind of the same for the game coming up against West Ham for Sunday? Would you figure Nick Pope is going to come back, or do you think Howe says, Ramsdale, you had a great match, against the bottom of the league team. Let's keep you in the starting 11, or do you think he goes back and says, "Nah, Nick, you're back in"?
Unfortunately, I think injury to Pope is just not gonna keep Ramsdale out until he gets injured.
We'll see Trippier come back in.
Yeah,
Burn
I think
will-
Trippier will come back in. Burn will stay left back. Look,
Yep.
he's got some nice problems now. He really has, because he's got a squad. And I think it was about a year and a half ago, I think we could all predict the lineup. Now we can't. And that's a good thing. But Trippier will play right back, Burn left back. I think he'll put Botman back in. Some people have said Shaw, but I think he'll put Botman back in.
Yep,
and I think Kerr will be in.
And he'll start Bruno.
Midfield's the interesting one. You'll start Bruno. Bruno will come back. Tonali will play. And the two players with them, I think you'll go Joe Linton purely based on because we're away from home.
Right.
And I think you'll go Joe Linton. We do play a Champions League game, but he has started
on the Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah, I think he started Ramsey in the Champions League, so I don't think he'll hesitate to put him. You'll start him in the Champions League game, but I think it'll be left will be Gordon, Murphy will be right, Fulton up front. That's what I think the lineup will be.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're still managing. I think Howe's still managing Ramsey's minutes. I think he's making sure that he's come back and he'll be dependable. That he can continue to rely on him. I think you're right. I think Joe Linton showed a bit of battle in the minutes that he had on Wednesday night. What'd you make of the?
When he the tackle. He's an absolute lunatic, isn't he? Absolute lunatic.
The Pink Pony Club. I mean, it was just something else.
He'd only been on the pitch 5 minutes, and he'd already started a frigging brawl for all in the middle of the. Look! I love Joe Linton, but he's another one who is on my list of legends of this football club who I absolutely adore. I've got me Gordon mug here, but I've got Joe Linton's in the bloody cupboard. Yeah. But he's another one now. I'm starting to see a few little limitations in his game this season because he's got 2 world-class footballers next to him.
Yep.
And when they pass and move like they do, they give it to him, and he hasn't got the passing skill to do what they're doing, and I'm starting to see it. Look, if you had to tell me who's our best 3 right now, it's Tonali, Bruno, and Ramsey for me. They're the best. I think they're the best 3. That's what I would do. But I still think you will start Joe Linton on Sunday.
I agree. And only because of beast mode. I think he'll put him in there in order to add a little bit of steel in there. Not that you're not going to get that out of Tonali or Bruno. I just think, if there's somebody in the West Ham side that's up for a fight, I think they'll put Bruno in there to try and. Also, they've got to have Bruno in there Joe Linton. They'll put J7 in there to help shore up that left-hand side with Burn at left back so that Gordon can bomb forward. Because you're not going to, we've seen Dan Burn come all the way up to the attacking touchline this season as well from left back. So, we'll have to see.
Well, look, I know I'm jumping ahead here, right? But when you're going into an away game, right? I know we've got the Mackhams in a couple of weeks, right? But there's about 5 players that Eddie Howe will find a way, 5 or 6 players that Eddie Howe will find a way of getting in that team away to Sunderland, right? Trippier's one of them. Dan Burn's the other. Joe Linton's one of them. So he will find a way to get these players in because he knows they'll be up for a battle. That's why Joe Linton will start at West Ham because he will want a battle and display. And it's got nothing. Look, for me right now, I think Ramsey's the better on the ball. He's better. He's better football.
Agreed.
There's no doubt, right?
But he just started on Wednesday night, and he's coming back from injury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if it had been West Ham at home, maybe Ramsey could start. But look, I could be completely off. Yeah, he could start Miley, right? He could start Shaw. He could easily change it up. But that's the good thing because managers can't predict a lineup because you've got a squad, and that's the best thing.
Look at what happened the other night to Palace. I mean, do you think Glasner ever thought that he was going to see the starting 11 that Liverpool put out on Wednesday night? When he's trying to dream up what, as he's putting out his 11, trying to figure out how he's going to battle Slot's 11, and then 11. I mean, Slot puts out a bunch of kids.
That was one of the biggest jokes I've ever seen in football. What he done on Wednesday night.
Yep.
I'm sorry, like it's like he had them all sitting in the stands on their seats, so he didn't let them stay at home and rest. He had them in the frigging ground, just sitting there.
Yep.
And look, I can't stand Liverpool Football Club.
And witness that.
I can't stand Liverpool Football Club, right? But you know yourself, if you're going to watch a youth team, right? How much do you pay to watch the youth players? £5?
Yeah. Right.
And Liverpool are getting charged 50, 60, 70 pound fans, 61,000 of them to watch a bunch of kids play and get stuffed. Right. I think it would have been nice if he'd mentioned it before the game, like, oh, we're going to play the kids, so if you want to turn up, because you're practically watching a youth game. What made it even worse was he had a youth players on the bench. Didn't have one senior player on the bench. He had a right winger up front, and he had Robertson at centre back, Kirkers at left back. It was an absolute mess. Do you know what it is? He might as well have said, I'm going to throw that game.
Yeah.
And he done it against Crystal Palace, who have been very good this season at times.
Who had their number in the Charity Shield. I mean, it was almost as if, well, what's the point? I mean, we argued about this. We argued about this in the pub the other day while we were watching the Newcastle Spurs game. People were watching the Liverpool matches on their phones, and they were just like, you want to win every game, especially when you're playing at Anfield. If you're playing at home, you want to win those matches.
What made it worse was the tit completely moaned at the end of the game, about Man City having a squad. And I'm thinking, you've just spent £500 million in the summer, and you're whinging you haven't got players. Give over, will you? Say, you know what it is? You're bollocksed up because you shouldn't have paid the £130 million for Isaac, because you piss-farted around Wekatigi. Fine, buy one of them. You needed one. What you needed to do was spend the money elsewhere on a midfielder. And I'm telling you now, I saw problems in Van Dijk's game last season, right? I saw issues because he's getting older. This is what happens. He's 33. You're getting, and Canardi's running his contract down to go to Real Madrid, right? So, but what did they do? They pissed fart around with Mark Gahey the last minute, and they signed Isak for 130 million a day before deadline day. And apparently,
you already had Ekitike, and he was already doing the business.
Exactly. They shouldn't have spent the money on they needed a striker, but they didn't need a £130 million striker. No. And to top it all off, Isak's been confirmed. He's 100% out the game this weekend with a groin injury. Shock horror. Isak's groin's gone again. What a surprise.
And Wirtz has been miserable.
Well,
it's just
look at. I know this is the Newcastle West Ham review, but it's just it's just what like you're talking about a Premier League manager here. He spent over £200 million on two players that aren't replacing anything to do with our lineup, right? Because they had Ekitike. Wirtz is not a replacement for any of those midfielders because he's a 10. He plays off the striker, and they don't play that. They don't play that way.
No.
What they should have been doing was buying a right winger, come in for Salah because he's getting older. A replacement for Van Dijk, and they're just not doing it. They're not. They've bought two fullbacks who can't defend, right? It's just But I could have told you before they were buying Frimpong that he can't defend. He's great going forward, but he cannot defend. I saw it in Germany. I saw it when he played for Arsenal. He can't defend. But let them get on with it. I mean, look, they'll not like this, but they're missing Trent.
They are. Yes, they are.
100% they're missing Trent. But anyway, let's continue with it.
So I guess my question to you is, what is your prediction for Sunday?
Look, I normally don't do this, right? But I think Newcastle are going to win 3 now.
That's been my prediction as well. I think 3-0 is probably the right answer. I think you're right. I think that they will go to try and get a goal in the first 10 minutes. So Robbie Stone's comment. Good for you, mate. Gary says 5-1. We'll have a repeat of the one match. Anybody else in the comments want to predict? Come on, Blade. I know you're good. You're going to say at least what, 8-0, 10-0.
Look, I'm normally more cautious, but I don't rate West Ham.
No, I think,
Newcastle. I think it's about time. Like I've saw it recently, they're starting to get their act together a bit. They need to take advantage of this. We want to be Champions League again. We need to win these games. It's that simple.
We need to win these. Yep. We
Tottenham,
need to start putting points on the board. Yep.
Tottenham. Look, I know Tottenham weren't great against us, but I guarantee Tottenham beat West Ham on Sunday away from home, 100%. And Chelsea doing all. Even in, I just think it's a game we've got to win. I'm sorry.
Yep. And win,
I mean,
and win comfortably.
If you told me right now, I had to put a bet on West Ham versus the Mackhams, I'm picking the Mackhams.
Yeah.
To beat West Ham away from home. That's how much I rate West Ham right now. I just, and like I said, it's nothing against West Ham. I think they're a canny football club, good fans, but they just remind us of us years ago, and we need to take full advantage of this.
Yeah, just put them to the sword.
Yeah,
put them to the sword early, get it done, and if it means taking players off, bring it on subs early, and putting 10 men behind the bus in order to behind the ball to protect the lead, then fine.
You've just said there that they've the bottom of the league for shots faced, goals conceded. Yep. We've got firepower that can hurt teams. Yep. We've got midfielders that can hurt teams. There's anywhere. Absolutely no excuse.
Yep.
Newcastle need to take advantage of this. And look, the key man for me is Voldemort this weekend.
Getting him service.
Who was it? I watched an interview with somebody the other day. He made a great point about Voldemort. He says if he was a defender, an ex-Premier League defender, I can't remember who it was. It might be in somebody like Julian Lescott or somebody like I can't remember. Anyway, he said that Voldemort is a nightmare to defend against because normally when you're facing a striker who stays up front, you can just mark him in your position. He said Voldemort's all over the shop, so you don't know whether to chase him. And if you chase him and he gets past you, you've left a gap. And he says you're relying on your centre-backs to help you out. And he said he's a nightmare to play against because of what he does. He's different. He's unusual. And this is West Ham can't defend. And I just literally don't think they'll know. The wingers are the key as well. This is why Voldemort is the key, because if he can bring the wingers into the game, the wingers need to perform well. We need Gordon. We need a good performance from Gordon.
Prime time Gordon. Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I would play Murphy, because I know Murphy's got a finishing product. I'd be amazed if Murphy doesn't score or get an assist on Sunday, mate. I would be absolutely shocked. And we've got to win, man.
For those of us out here on the west coast of the United States, it's going to be a game worth getting up at 6 a.m. for. I think it's going to
not be 0-0. That's what I said.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be a great match to watch. What's this comment? He's beautiful to watch. His flicks and his ball control. Yep.
I mean, look, this is no disrespect, but surely Malik Chow and Botman can cope with Wilson.
I would think so.
I mean, you're not. Look, Callum's been great for he helped us through the Bruce times, but he was finished last year, and I've watched him this season, and apart from Forest away where he scored, he's not the Callum Wilson that was 5 years ago because injuries have kicked in. Surely these two can cope with him.
And one of the interesting stats that we've got is he's almost nailed on to start. This will be the first time he's ever faced a former team.
Yeah, I mean,
and we know. We were all joking about it when he signed for them, but I mean, we know how he loves to score against West Ham. I think West Ham is the team that he's scored the most goals against his career. But the fact that he's now with them, but this is the first time that that he's facing an old club. You know, he never faced Bournemouth when he played for us.
I mean, Paqueta's been poor this season, right? But didn't be shocked if he turns up on Sunday because he's trying to impress the manager. You know what I mean? It's just like I do rate Paqueta, but he's been off it this season. And when he got let off for the betting thing, I thought you might see a different Paqueta. I thought that might ease off, but he hasn't. He's been poor.
Yeah.
And
you mean he like a Tonali? You would think him coming out. Yep.
Yeah, but he clearly doesn't want to be there because he nearly moved to Villa. Villa put a bid in for him, and he nearly went. And I think he was pissed off about that. But it's like, I don't know. West Ham was always a game that I always like. Oh, they've got Bowen and they've got Antonio up front, who was a pain in the arse to play against, and they had that winger. Oh, what was he called? Man, tricky winger they used to have. They sold him.
Kudus?
No, not Kudus. It was Fornals or somebody like that. They always had these tricky players that you come up against, and I always used to think, obviously, that Declan Rice. They always used to be a decent team, West Ham, under Moyes, but now I just think it's a completely different. Like, they're not a team that I expect to, like, work their socks off for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting that at all. But I think it's a confidence thing. I think, to be honest, if we score in the first 5 minutes, it could be more than 3. But I know Newcastle United Football Club, I've been following them for 30 years. It'll be 0-0 at half time, and it'll take the second half for them to get the first goal, and then the second and the third will come. By which point, I'll be pulling my hair out because we'll have probably played shite in the first half, but we'll increase it in the second half.
I certainly hope you're wrong. I hope that's done and dusted by halftime. But you know, it is what it is. So with that, I have a date in 20 minutes that I need to go run off to. So I have to. Unfortunately, I gotta wrap this up. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Blade, Robbie, Gary, Leslie, as always. All the folks in the chat. Gary, thanks for jumping on, mate. We'll talk more maybe on Monday when we have something a result to talk about. But thanks everybody. Just a quick reminder. We'll just throw these out again. You can become a member for 99 cents up, as little as 99p a month, and all proceeds go to charity. And Dire Crow, Baz 20 for 20% off. The multi-award-winning Geordie Land experience, and as always, like and subscribe. So, and hype the channel when we're done here, because that's the new option in YouTube land. So, okay, folks, thanks everybody for tuning in, and away the lads and lasses. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks everybody. Night, Gary. Good to see you, buddy.
Night, you too.
Night, all.